Hi, Dr. Yusuf. Welcome to CyberCon by Cyber Express. So, I was listening to your panel session and I really enjoyed it. So, I have a few questions for you, starting with the first one. So, what a typical day looks like in the life of a CISO? So, how the day begins and how it ends?
For me, it's majorly to the first thing that I make sure that I meet my team, right? Just to take a stock take of what's happened last day and all. Is anything which is need to be addressed, which happened during the overnight and all. So that gives some call because that's your team who has to be made pretty confident about what you do overall because nothing happens without the teamwork across. Second, then I'll go through my all the dashboard which I usually have see every day to see if there is any major security incident. So I deep down on that, understand if there's anything that I need to actually get pitch in, drive that, and then involve my security team in order to take the further action. So that's how typically I start my day every day usually, unless if there is any fire. You usually get opportunity. It happens in the night, and then it goes and on and on. Yeah.
So my second question is to you, what is the first step in a data breach? Once you know that there has been a data breach in your company or maybe some third-party company. So, what is the first step and how do you mitigate these things?
The first step for a data is usually you should not panic about if there's a data breach because that's where things start falling apart. Uh, Maintaining the cool is the first step when you actually see and hear something which is beyond normal, right? So you always tend to actually get disturbed by, oh my god, there's a data breach happening. No problems, data is going to be breached because that's what data is. And you just as a CISO, as a leader, you have to be very calm and cool in handling any kind of such thing. So maintain your cool and understand the real problem where actually uh, try to zero down on where actually the data breach happened, and then take the further steps, understand and then take course of action while keeping your colleagues and your stakeholders aware that, hey, look, there is a data breach, we are investigation, and we'll confirm after ourselves will get convinced that yes, actually that is because there are many things happens which actually you get panic and you start percolating down to your colleagues, which shouldn't be the case. Understand well, and then once you are satisfied, then you take further course of action.
So my last question to you is how a road to CISO looks like. Like where do you start and how do you become a CISO? And I see you are very young right now, and and I guess you've become a CISO, and I think you have worked really hard. So how does a student or maybe a beginner begin his career in cybersecurity and lead to the road to a CISO?
Sure. I think as a CISO, because I'm coming very strong infrastructure background, because that's where your assets are there. It's all infra assets that's you're trying to protect and the users. So if somebody wants to take a career in CISO in a quick time, right, is they have to go deep dive. They have to understand the infra piece very uh, he has to have an understanding of the server, the network, right? The user, the access control. It's very important to understand what you are being entitled or you've been asked to protect. Then understand on the overall management system of security, right? So once you have an understanding of how this entire security management system works, including the policies, the people responsibility, right? It builds a lot of confidence, right? And then once you have that understanding, you should be part of the security operations. A CISO, if is not run as an analyst and a SOC analyst, who is the heart of your entire security, who's actually monitoring, it's going to be very difficult to be and convince others that what could have happened at the analyst desk. The shop floor experience is so very important. The ground level understanding at the shop floor is a must. Any CISO has to be part of the SOC. It's if anybody wants to take a career, they should be sitting at the shop floor, right? And then technologies, because security is a domain which is heavily influenced by technologies. You can't do manual stuff. You need to adopt these technologies in order to actually help and understand and avert those threats coming into your organization, right? Whether you're insider or outsider, whether identification, technology, detection, prevention, response, all of them understand the CISO should have that technical ability to understand these technologies, how they work, how that those technologies need to be configured. The more and more uh, understanding, you would be able to influence others, right? You want to create that program. So once of the CISO is generating a program, which is mostly the projects that has to be driven, and those are technology projects. If you don't understand technology, how are you going to convince the management how does the technology works and what are the threats that technology is going to address, right? So if all of these are being taken, I think no matter when you become a CISO.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Yusuf. It was
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you.